major,
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I have a major listing opportunity and I want it badly. And I'm really, really nervous about it. It's high end. Oh,
Okay, so that's good. I think what we learned tonight will help.
yes.
Okay. So what I normally do when I'm getting ready for a listing or even working with a buyer, the more prepared we are, the better chance we have for them to pick us. Okay. And so I like to just give it everything I have and do a lot of research ahead of time. And I find that when
Okay.
I do the research, now I know my stuff and I can use it over and over. So if I'm going after a really big listing presentation and I pull all the data, I can talk about that same data in other instances. So a lot of times we feel like I just don't have time to get everything ready. And I'm just going to say, uh, just, oh, Raymond, welcome. I'm going to mute you. I would just say you you get paid for anything you learn. Like a lot of times we think, oh, I'm wasting my time. I'm doing a deep dive into the MLS. I'm pulling statistics. Jody told me to do this. And then you think, is, you know, am I wasting my time? And the truth is, you are not wasting your time. You get paid for what you learn because it's one sentence. Look at movie stars and people that practice for their one line in a movie, their first one line. Kind of the same thing. So the more we know, the more prepared we are, the more chance we have of getting that listing. And the more you learn about the market, the better you are on the phone. And the better you are when you're signing a buyer, or when you're DMing somebody, when you're posting something on Facebook, because you're starting to connect the dots and see why people do what they do. And find in your heart of hearts, is this a good time to buy? Is this a good time to sell? And you have to find the reason why it is. Because it always is. I have been in this business so long and I've never had somebody not happy that they bought something. What have I had? I've had people aren't happy because they didn't buy it. So not acting is really the curse. Buying something, even if you think it's overpriced, you'll never feel bad about it because eventually you're going to pay off that mortgage and it's going to be, you're able to write things off. Your accountant does all kinds of fun things and will build wealth. So in this country, the number one way to build wealth safely is real estate. And that's in your mind, that's the conversation ultimately. And then you do other things to plant the seed. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Hopefully I'm sharing the right screen. Okay, and let's do this. So I have things I'm going to be sharing tonight. And hang on. There we go. Okay, so I've always said this, and it's really true. What is a conversation? This is a conversation. If I had the money, I would buy that house myself. That is the conversation. The only way you can know that truth is to really know the market. So think about that. Okay, I have $600,000. I can buy anything I want in Stamford. What am I going to buy? What's the best deal? What's the best deal in West Hartford? If I had the money, I would buy it myself. And our goal for this session is going to be to master this conversation and set up a goal for all the till through April, two listings, one sale every month. So what can I do to make that happen? That, that's a Century 21 thing, one. Two listings, one sale. So this is what we have right here, and I sent you this in the invite. You have this printed out. So you can print this out. Our conversation today is market knowledge. Next week, we're going to be doing the CMA. This week, it's how to kill it. So every CMA, every listing presentation that I have ever done in my career, from getting a big subdivision to a tiny little house, I talk about the same things. And what are those things? Okay, that's what we're going to discuss. So my objective is to find more people who want to move. Have conversations that attract people to you. Conversations that make them want to know more, that make them know you know what you're talking about. Convert conversations into appointments, convert appointments into contracts, contracts into closing. What do I need? I need time. Number one, you have to carve out time to do what? Focus. Focus on the activities that are going to make you money. uh, Schedule time that you can do things, show houses. Always have in your calendar times during the week that you can go on appointments, whether it's showing a house or going on a listing presentation. You have to schedule that in and then schedule time to get prepared for whatever it is that you want to do. And then as time goes on, skills and market knowledge and industry knowledge, and then practice. So, all of these things are the things we need to do our objective at the top, two listings, one sale. Okay. So, our money making activity this week is call, text, direct message, or drop by someone's house 5 people a day. I'm going to call, text, or drop by, try to have a conversation, 5 people a day. Then find, print, internalize, and create my own script about the market knowledge. That's what we're about to do. But then you have to go back in after we're done and really do a deep dive and find your words that you're going to say. I'm going to show you how, though. Okay. Create a screenshot video presentation about the market and post it. So once you have what you want to do, we're going to show you how to find it. You're going to post it and then create a plan to share the information as time goes on. Okay. So we're going to create an opening statement for our listing presentation for 2026 and start getting used to doing that. Okay. What does that mean? Well, it's information uh, about the market. So everybody watches local news, right? Wrong. Most people don't watch local news. They watch national news. They don't really know what's going on local news. And even if they talk about real estate on local news, have you ever heard someone talk about real estate on local news? Well, I have, and I'm always disappointed, It's not horrible, but it's never, I don't think, um, brilliant or make somebody want to do something. It's sort of like telling you what you know rather than selling you what you want. So, this is about sales. I want people to want to buy a house. Give me a reason why I want to buy a house right now. Give me a reason why I want to sell my house and buy another house. So that's part of it, the information that we're going to give them today. I think I went backwards. Okay, here we go. So, every CMA, oops, my thing isn't setting right. Hang on, how do I make this littler? I'm going to stop sharing and go back and share. I think it's my settings. I changed the setting in Zoom. Okay, let me try it again. Okay, good. All right, share. Can you guys see my screen still? All right, every CMA presentation, do you see that? Uh,
Yes.
Starts with an overview. That's what we're talking about. The economy, national and local, market conditions, jobs, real estate affordability, supply and demand, whether it's a first home or a secondary home market. Be the expert in opening the conversation. For the seller, it's who is going to buy their house? Who is their buyer? Who's going to pay them the most money? Where do they live now? What do they do for a living? They may not know that they want to know this, but they do want to know this. That's all they want to know. We have to say, I know who's going to buy your house. Okay. And I know how to find them. For the buyer, it's more usually what can I afford? How can I get the best deal for my budget? For high end, it's what I want. I want this. Can you find it? Where can you find it? And a lot of times they don't always know Connecticut that well, and they might have different options. Okay, so how do we find out that information? We're going to get to the bottom of this. So we're going to start with the economic outlook. Uh, know what you need to know just in case. Do the research. And once you know everything, do we say everything? Absolutely not. We don't say everything. It's a conversation that goes back and forth. You could be telling a story. You could be asking them questions. Uh, and like for example, I had a subdivision I was trying to get for one of our agents, and they were meeting with other companies. And they said to me, they were kind of baiting me. Well, this company, they sold the house in 13 days. They sold their last house in 13 days. And I said, you know what? That's pretty great. But I just so happened to have pulled the numbers this morning, and look what the average days on the market is right now, 13. So what you're really saying is they did an average job. Okay. So everything is context. And a lot of times when you start looking at the data, you're going to be surprised yourself. And it's kind of fun. So we're going to start with ChatGPT or whatever you like to use for social media. And we're going to ask some questions about what's going on with the economy. So I'm just going to take a minute and share with you something that I did not email you because it would have been too many things, but I will email you after this. Okay. So, have any of you taken the artificial intelligence class that Century 21 gives? Okay, so whoops. Century 21 has a great class on artificial intelligence. And basically, they're saying frame your questions by context, role. I'm a realtor. I'm a real estate agent in Madison. I'm a real estate agent in West Hartford, whatever it is. What kind of questions do you want to know? The interview is information. So I want to get some good information for my clientele that lives in West Hartford about the economy. And then what do you want Chat GPT to give you? What's the task? I want you to give me an overview of what is happening in the market right now for jobs, employers, and things like that. And also, what are the top, um, what do people make? What are the top jobs in this area? What do people make? And how far do they commute to and from work? So that's how I set this up. And before we do this, I'm going to do a break. I want you guys to find your own. I just want to show you what I did. Okay, so I'm putting this down. So ChatGPT. I want to find out what is the local economy like in West Hartford, Connecticut, and what is the economic forecast for the state of Connecticut for the next 5 years? What is the job outlook also for the next 5 years? And looking at the last three requests I just said, economic, national, local, market conditions, jobs, affordability, supply and demand, uh, sum up all the information in 8 bullet points. So the reason I'm asking for a lot of information is because just like the news, have you ever seen PJ Lewis start off a company-wide meeting every month? He does a company-wide meeting. He always does the state of the economy. And he does it for Connecticut, Rhode Island, Florida, um, Florida Panhandle, Naples. So different areas have different needs. Why does he do that? Because we want to know, are we in the right business? Can I make a living selling houses? Your clients want to know, is this a good time to buy or sell? When they see you with confidence presenting this, then it helps them make a decision. So this is actually what I asked. And then this is what did I use? I think I used Grok, which is the Twitter one. This is what Grok gave me. So, key near-term outlook 2026. And it gave me some good things. Connecticut's economy is expected to experience modest, slower growth in 2026 compared to recent years, closely tracking national trends. Positive factors include ongoing benefits from the national defense spending. When I asked the question, I said, please make it positive for my clients that want to move into the area. So I'm a real estate agent. I'm having conversations with clients coming into the area or are thinking of moving that live in the area, and I want to give them some good news. So there's not lying here, but it's the truth, but it feels good. So it talks that the overall tone is optimistic but cautious. Okay, now we're going to move on. Then it goes into longer term considerations, which if I thought were worth with my client, I would look at that. Excuse me. And it also has 36 websites. So it tells me where it's getting this information so I can verify how good this is. Then I'm going to uh, ask for 5 bullet points to outline the near-term economic outlook for Connecticut. So these are the 5 bullet points: steady economic expansion, job market recovery, interest rate relief, strong physical preparedness. I guess we have big budget here, innovation, and sector growth. So it goes into stuff I didn't even know was happening, but it is happening. There's a lot of industry in Connecticut that is driven by AI investments, manufacturing advancements, higher income segments, and tech-related industries and expected to thrive, fostering a K-shaped recovery that lifts overall economic resilience and creates a spillover benefits for broader communities. So, what am I thinking if I'm the seller right now? Is now a good time to sell? Is now a good time to buy? To me, this sounds like I'm at the beginning of a success story. So I like the way it sounds, and I did it myself. I read it myself, so I can wrap my arms around it. Then I went and asked more information about jobs. So based on this, now I know the economic outlook. Who is going to buy my listing? Okay. So what kind of jobs are the top job openings in Connecticut? So in 2026, job openings in Connecticut are heavily concentrated in healthcare, advanced manufacturing, and professional services, driven by an aging population and a strong defense industry presence. Top industry openings. Okay, so we have healthcare and social assistance, home health aides, things like that, medical assistance. We have advanced manufacturing, okay, fueled by aerospace defense contracts and companies like General Dynamics Electric Boat, projected to 5,000 annual hires. High demand in roles include CNC machinists, aerospace engineers, and quality control specialists. So PJ said Electric Boat is the top employer in the state. I don't think they're quite there, but I think they're about to be there. Yale, I'm seeing, is still a top employer. Another thing, transportation and logistics. Okay, so this is Amazon, heavy truck drivers, logistic coordinators, warehouse laborers, finance and insurance, management specialists, specific high volume and fast growing roles. Active employers in 2026. Manufacturing, General Dynamics, Electric Boat, Pratt& and Whitney, Sikorsky, Lockheed Martin. Healthcare, Yale New Haven Health, Hartford Health, Connecticut Children's. Professional and financial, Travelers, The Hartford, and ESPN. We're going to keep going. And then I said, okay, now that I know the jobs, I need to know what they make. Who is going to buy this house? Now, if it's really high end, who might the buyer be? Any of these jobs? Possibly. Or possibly they own their own company, or they own a franchise, or they own a football franchise, things like that. So we don't really know. Depends on what market my listing is in. But this is also true of the buyers coming into your open houses. Who are they? What do they do for a living? What do they make? So knowing this can help you know if they can afford the house that you're doing an open house in. Oh, where do you work? RN nurse, 83,587 on average. And it might be more than that right now because it's supply and demand. So between 62 and 98. Top earners, 124. Okay, I work for Sikorsky. I'm General Dynamics, aerospace engineer. So between 84 and 126. Top earners, 156. Project managers, 74 to 117, top earners 153. Director, 105, 86 to 145, top earners 181. Vice President, 165, 140 to 220, top earners 250. CEO, 215, 160 to 350, top earners 500,000. So these are the kind of things you want to think, who is going to buy your house and what can you do to market to them? What kind of advertising can you do to appeal to this buyer if it's your listing? And how can you sell that to your client? Okay, so where do I find buyers? Here are the top 15 employers in Connecticut. All of this took me less than 10 minutes, ChatGPT. Asking questions. And then, once I got the information based on what you just told me, tell me what the top 15 employers are in Connecticut. So this is telling us where their primary location is and who the employer is. So Yale University is number one. And then next is the Yale New Haven Health, Pratt& and Whitney, Hartford Healthcare, Sikorsky, General Dynamics Travelers, the Hartford, Cigna, Eversource, Foxwoods Resort and Casino, Mohegan Sun, Charter Communications, Telecommunications, Amazon, uh, and this Boehringer, whatever this is, Pharmaceuticals in Ridgefield. So I would probably go on LinkedIn and see who works here and maybe start doing some research on this. Who do I know that knows them? That kind of thing. So when I get a listing, I know what to say to go after that buyer. All right. Are you with me, you guys? And the last thing about the buyer, what is the average commute time? This is so important. Why do you think this is important? Because if I'm in West Hartford, I want to know who where they work. Most people want to be within about 20 to 30 minutes where they work. So I'm going to pay special attention when I do an open house and people come in and they're an hour away. Oh, where do you work? Oh, I work at Sikorsky. We're in West Hartford. Oh, are you remote? Or I work at the Travelers, but I live in Stratford. They want to move closer. So it's just that kind of conversation. It's not like you're going to have this for every client, but you want to put yourself in a high level place where you can comfortably talk about this. And I'm going to have you ask ChatGPT this information yourself. So this is one of my favorite things. Why should you list with me? Because I know my business. I know how and where to find buyers. I know how to make things happen. I know how to write a contract that can close, manage a transaction so it will close. I know real estate law, practices and principles. I'm a full-time career professional. I back my work with a written guarantee. So for a seller, I know how and where to find buyers is going to resonate because that's all they care about. They want to sell their house for the most money possible. How to do that? Find people with a pain point that drives them to their house. And talk about the kind of people that might want to buy their house and possibly where they work and what you found. And where do they work? What do they work? What do they do? In this country, we like to talk about what we do for a living. It's one of our deals. Okay, so out of all the research I did, this is the summation. Right now in Connecticut, we're experiencing slow growth. Jobs are steady. This is a slow to hire, slow to fire state. How does that make you feel? So we're not on fire, but Connecticut is the land of steady habits. We're New Englanders. We don't get excited quickly. And we don't, we're stoic. We know how to live through snowstorms without freaking out. So that's a fantastic comfort food right there. That's mashed potatoes and gravy. Okay. And you're going to find, I had somebody come into the West Hartford office on Thursday to drop off a check. Where are you coming from? I think she was from someplace cold, like Duluth. Not Minnesota, but that area out west. And I said, "Oh, are you excited to come here to West Hartford?" She goes, "I cannot wait. Clean air, clean water, good schools." And I was like in shock. Like, we don't realize what we have and how people view us. So, people want to live in an area that's safe. This is safe. Slow to hire, slow to fire. You get a job, you're going to keep your job. The average buyer has under a 30-minute commute to work. In this town, we're seeing people who work for the Hartford Healthcare, Pratt& and Whitney, Travelers, the Hartford, Cigna, Eversource, and we have some great local companies and a lot of self-employed people. The average household income in Hartford County is 137,000, and in this town it's 168,000. So that is what it will take. Now we have to find out what is the average price house in West Hartford, and are we looking for the average buyer? Are we looking for the aerospace engineer? I did a study once, and West Hartford had the most female architects out of any town in the country. So it's interesting, the kind of clientele that we have and what they're looking for their next move. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I want you, I'm going to put you in a breakout room. I want you to come up with some prompts about what you want to ask ChatGPT, And then we'll either do it together or you can start doing it. I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, it is 7:30. So let's give ourselves 15 minutes to decide the prompts and then to actually do it. So 15 minutes to talk about it, then we're going to come back and do 5 minutes to do it so you can get a good start on this. All right, how are you guys feeling? Are you with me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm just going to say if you have something
Yes.
specific in mind, like Gail does, you're going to ask what who is going to buy that house and what do they do for a living, if anything, and
Mm.
how can you find them and connect with them, and what kind of information will resonate with them. So this is all about who your clientele is and what they are looking for. Okay, I live in New Britain, so the people here, they want something affordable. They want to feel safe. They want to be close to shopping. So, that everyone's going to be different. All right, so we are going to put you guys in 3 rooms. And so your mission is to find some prompts. I am a real estate agent. My message is to whoever it is, and I want some good, positive information about the economy, people wanting to move here. What do they want to hear? And where could they possibly work right now? Where might they live right now? What would make them want to move to whatever town you're talking about? And I'll come visit. All right, here we go. I'm opening the rooms. You all have to talk. Nobody gets to sit this out. Just hit join. All right. Ahmed, you're in room 3. Hit join. Oh, your iPhone too. Do you see join? All right, I'm going to move you to a different one. Well, so you have an iPhone and a computer? All right, Ahmed, I'm going to move you to a different room. And I think you are also the iPhone. All right, I just moved you. Click join on both. Siri, set alarm for 10 minutes.
10 minutes, counting now.
Oh, there she is. I came on a little late, Jody, so I'm just trying to
So, okay,
make
Judy,
sure I
see,
got everything right.
Judy,
I'm
just
just
to
making sure you guys are good. So I'm going to
yeah,
leave you alone.
no, that's fine. Just to confirm, so we all going to individual. We all going to either ChatGPT or whatever AI app
Come
we
up
use.
with like 5 questions in the prompt. So, and then we're going to do the chat GPT afterwards. So right now you're coming up with 5 questions to ask ChatGPT.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Okay, about your town. Tell me why Windsor Locks is a great place to live. Um, where do most people that live in Windsor Locks come from? How long do they usually stay in their houses? Where do people that live in Windsor Locks work? Or something that is exciting like that.
All right, so those kind of questions that we all going to start sharing with all of us, and then according with all those 5 questions, and then we wanna going to ChatGPT and then create the prompt.
Correct. Okay.
All
Okay.
right,
All right. I'm leaving your room.
all right,
All right. So,
all right. So I live in Manchester. So
okay.
something that I've been noticed here in Manchester is, like a lot of senior people. So, and it's more like,
Plan. Okay. Who wants to share? I know Natalia's dying to share.
I wrote down a bunch when I started thinking about it. The one thing I want to do is like create interactive polls on my social media.
Oh, I
So
love that.
yeah, I need ideas for that, like what to ask people to get them engaged.
Okay, good. So what kind of things did it come up with?
Oh, I didn't ask yet. I'm supposed to do that
Okay.
now?
Oh,
Okay,
so
let me
that's
go
one of the
now.
prompts. Okay.
Yeah, that's one of the things. I'll do it on my other computer. I'll come back. Let me see.
Okay. No, it's okay.
Can,
What are
can
some
you say
other
that? What
things?
is she asking for? I didn't hear what
So
she was going to,
one
her
of her
prompt.
activity um, things she's going to do to make money is do polls on social media. What are the top? Okay, so this is a really good one because I asked ChatGPT if in West Hartford, if you're 55 years old, what are the things you want to know in buying your first house? Because a lot of people are buying their first house later in life. Okay, and it gave me some good ideas. So I love that you said that. And why do I love it? Because let me find where my chat is. It disappeared. Um, because we're trying to connect with people. It's not about the marketplace, so it's a little off topic, but okay, let's see. The first one, lifestyle shift prompt. So that's one non-negotiable prompt. What are the top 5 must-have features? And I wouldn't say a 55-year-old first-time buyer, but I would say, what are your non-negotiable 5 features on your next house? And somebody that's 55, it might be um, layout, maintenance level, first floor living, walkability, garage, yard size, and then what are the nice to haves? So I would, that's one thing. But who has some questions about your jobs marketplace? I heard Danny talking about people that are purchasing in Manchester, right? What were you saying? Or maybe it was not Danny, was it?
yes.
John?
So
Was it
I was,
you?
well, yeah. So we were sharing some information. It's like, like what kind of question um we come with, and it was like, if here in Manchester they are like long term people, who they want to live here for a while, and it's like who are selling the houses, is if it's like the senior people are the one who's selling the houses, or if it's the people who's moving in Manchester are the one selling the house to move in a different place, like those kind of question.
So if you're going to get a listing, who is the person that you want to talk to? What do they want to know? And then that person, what buyer is going to buy their house? I like that question. I'll tell you why, because I have in my career shown a lot of houses to people that age range that was their first house, and a lot of times they're nostalgic. You know, they like a house because it reminds them of their grandmother. Or it's really clean and it smells really good when you walk in the front door. Sometimes, depending on the price range, and that's Manchester. You know, Manchester's that kind of a town for the most part, the average house. Any other prompts? Gail, what did you come up with? You're stuck. Are you stuck?
I just what people do in that town. You know, what is their
The
occupation?
lifestyle?
Lifestyle. Um, Also, I mean, I didn't say this, but I mean, I would want to know the type of people that want to, you know, have shoreline property,
Okay, shoreline property.
um,
So people,
boating opportunities. Yeah,
yeah, and there's a lot of them.
yeah,
So what is their life like?
yeah. And I would, I mean, almost, I would ask, just really in that area, shoreline, I guess. What are people looking for
And I
in
think a
those
lot of it
homes?
is lifestyle. So what do you think it
Lifestyle.
is?
What do I think?
Yeah. So did you ask ChatGPT or are we going to do that? That's one of the prompts.
Um, well, I mean, if they're looking in the shoreline, I assume they like the water and the shoreline and beach stuff. Um,
Yeah,
but
they're at a
I
level
so
where I want what I want. Can you find me what I want? That's that
yeah,
person. It's not
yeah,
so much, can I afford it? It's can I find what I want? And
yeah.
that
Well,
sometimes is a tougher buyer than any of them.
exactly. Yeah. I think, yeah. Or I almost would put in what the selling points are of the home to chat GPT and say, who is this buyer? Who would be the buyer?
Yeah, perfect.
I think that's what I would look for.
I love it. Anybody else? Okay, so the reason we're doing this is when we start out a conversation at a listing presentation, we want to talk about those things. We want to get their attention. We want to say things a little different than other agents are saying. And we want to talk about whatever is going, how are we going to find a buyer that likes this area? So we're going to circle back to this if we have time, because the next thing that I want to focus on is the uh, real estate market. So we just focused on the economy. Jobs are good, land and steady habits. We have, Connecticut's a great place to live. You can zero in on your area based on what I did, and I have the handout that I sent to you. It is a big picture. So depending on who your clientele is, you're going to just change the prompt a bit to attract that person. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, does anybody have any questions? So when we first do, now next week we're going to do the CMA, and the week after that we're going to do the listing presentation. And we're going to be talking about this more. So don't feel like I didn't do it, I still need to learn it. Not true. We're going to be talking about it more. So I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to go to the next session. So before I go there, I just want to ask you guys, is anybody on this call not from Connecticut? Raymond, where are you from?
I'm in Stratford, Connecticut.
Okay, good. I think everybody's in Connecticut. And the reason I'm asking is then I don't have to overthink the statistics and show you every Florida MLS. So this is good. So I'm going to share with you, now we're getting into the local real estate market. And the first thing I want to share with you is this. It's market reports. So I'll show you where this is, but it's something that we have with our MLS, Smart MLS, and nobody else has this in the country that I've seen. And this really is pretty cool. So where do you find this? When you log into the MLS, you're going to look for the words Smart MLS Stats. That's the name. And I'll show you in a minute. So I went Smart MLS Stats, and I looked at market activity and pricing. So that's what I'm looking at yearly. So this is showing me Hartford County, and you can do the town as well. And starting in 2015, it goes all the way down to 2011. I just cut it off at 2015. Uh, average number of sales in Hartford County, 7,454. Then in 16, 8,000. 17, same. 18, same. 19, a little more. 20, COVID, a lot more. 21, even more. And then 22, down a little bit. And then it started going down. So the number of sales went down. Single family only. Okay. And then it has average price every year. So I always look at average sale price. So we went in Hartford County in 2015, 260, and it kind of stayed in that general area. And then it went in 2019 to 271. Then it went to 295. Then it went to 335, 360, 390, 430, 464, and now it's 458. So we are in the, you know, 2026. This is lower because why? This is really only 2 weeks. I did this 2 weeks ago. So today is what is today? 26. So this was, the first 10 days of the year. 94 sales. Okay. And it was after the holiday. So closings, that means they went into contract around Christmas. Then I went market pricing by type. So these are condos and these are single families. And we have all the way from 2011 and it has the average price. So it's what we just said. And then this is the activity, number of sales. So we always look at number of sales, total volume, whatever, that's for Wall Street, but number of sales that you can track. And you can see that we went up, 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 up until COVID. We really sold a lot more houses. And then we started going down. And of course, this is January, so you can't really count that. But we started evening out in 2024 and 2025 in Hartford County. So we can look at all the different areas, but this is good to know, especially if you're working people that bought in 2011 or that bought in 2024 and are thinking that are the prices going to still go up? The number of sales. Okay. And now I zoomed into West Hartford. So I just put in West Hartford instead of Hartford County, and it's telling me the average sale price from 2015. And one thing I love about West Hartford is it's kind of affordable. These prices are not bad for such a nice town. A lot of people want to live here. So again, seasonal. The last one is only the first 2 weeks of January. But yeah, went up to 605. It was 331, so it pretty much doubled since then. And I love sharing these kind of things, even on social media, because it helps people like, wow, I wonder what my house is worth. That's what they're thinking. I wonder if I can afford it. That's what the buyer might be thinking. Okay, and then same with condos. So I'm going to show you where to find this. Average price went from 247 to 389. So it didn't double. Condos did not double, but they did go up on average in Harford County. And then we look at all of Connecticut. Whoops. So I'm just going to show you first where to find this. So hang in there. Okay. All right. Come on, it's opening. All right, so I'm in Smart MLS, and over here on the left, Smart MLS Stats. It's also here when you first log in, Smart MLS Stats, this one. So those are the two that I think are pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it. So it brings you here. So that's what I showed you in the handout. And then we're going to market reports. And if I was doing an open house, I probably would print some of this out. So now we're in the market reports and we want to do yearly sales and pricing. So that is what I think is the most interesting. Okay, and let's do I've been doing Harford County. Let's do Fairfield County. So let's go to Stamford. Stamford. Okay. So just Stamford. There we are. And then it has the year to date. It has the average sale. Okay, 748 right now. And that's including 6% from previous year. Okay, so let's just scroll down and look. So this is where we were before. These are condos, and these are the prices of condos on average in Stamford, 2011 to 2026. And these are the houses. So they were single family home 534 on average in 2011. And then it went up to almost a million, 961 average single family home in Stamford. And then we are now in January, so first part of January. It's still 910s, not bad. And condo 450. So the condos didn't go up as much either here. So you can look and see different towns where there might be issues or things with condos.
Jody,
Yes.
so is this showing the inventory turn too? So how many days on the market?
I I think, let me see. Is it showing? I don't think it is.
They're not
Not
showing this
here.
separate report? Okay.
Not in this one. In supply and demand you can, but this is more for prices because
Okay.
that is what people really want to know. What is my house worth? And it's like going back to 2011. So it's good data.
Is it not
And
there if
now,
you scroll up a little bit? Up some more? Right there. DOM median, that's not it? Or
oh, let me see. Where do you see that?
Right under average sale.
There you go.
Is that?
Days on market, 33. Thank you.
Mhm.
You always do that. You're good. Thank
Yeah.
you, Natalia. So that's kind of cool. I love this, and I would definitely be sharing this. Okay. And there's other
Would you do
things you could
that
do
in
too.
the listing presentation?
Yeah, I would
Share
just
for
print
that
it out.
town?
Yep, definitely. I mean, there's other
Okay.
ways you can do this. So let's just go back and I'll show you info stats. It Sparks. Info Sparks is also similar. And Info Sparks is easier to share on social media. So let's just look at that for a minute. And I have this in the handout too. So Info Sparks. Okay. So let's do some interesting things. So we'll start with Stanford. Okay, and we're going to add West Hartford. Uh, and then what are some other good towns? Let's see.
Fairfield.
Fairfield.
Yeah.
Okay, and then let's do um,
Norwalk?
let's do Wallingford or Cheshire, maybe. I'm trying to stay in the same price point. Cheshire. Okay, Cheshire. So I have four towns we're comparing. Why does it say entire? Okay, it messed up. Hang on. Stamford. What did I say here? I'll do West Hartford. West Hartford.
Yeah,
And Fairfield.
Fairfield.
Fairfield and Cheshire.
Okay. So as you type, you have to then, you can't just hit enter, you have to select it. All right, I'm going to stick with single family because I think single family is a good place to start because it's usually better news than condos. And when people that have a condo are thinking, oh, I wonder if my condo's gone up, then they reach out to you. So first we have our towns. All right, then we go to the middle row here. And we're going back 12 months. I like to do monthly because monthly is better data. So monthly in this case is only bringing us to December. We're not getting January. 3 years, and then so we're going to go back 3 years and we're going to look at the bar. Okay, so it's easier to read a bar. And I like average, not median. Okay, so Stanford, look at that. In 2023, the average single family home in Stanford was 1,000,005. In West Hartford, it was 478. In Fairfield, it was 1,144. And in Cheshire, it was 514. Isn't that interesting? And today, uh, Stanford is 994. Okay, but that's January. No, December. That's December, so it's the holiday. Um, West Hartford, 735. Fairfield, 1,000,003. And what is the last one? Cheshire,
Cheshire.
612. Okay, so, four, and this is the funnest part of this. So it's kind of interesting. It's going back 3 years. And when you click share here, you can share it live. So if you put it on your Facebook page, people will see in real time what's happening. So I'm going to do Facebook, social media. Okay, I'm going to click share. And then I am going to copy this. And we're going to view in a new window so you can see. So it has my information and it talks about the different towns. And let me just I'm going to go into Facebook and put it into our group. Facebook group. And here we go. All right. Tonight's session. Ooh. God, what is wrong with me? Two. N-I-G-H. I guess this is looking right something. All right. Okay. So here it is. I tried to write something. I'm going to post. So
Is
with
this our Facebook group?
yep, and
Oh,
there it is. So this is our group for this class. I created
okay,
this just for this class.
great.
Oh, okay, and I sent you guys a QR code.
Jody, I just requested to get on that page, so
Okay, I will
yeah,
keep my eyes open.
thank you.
Okay, isn't that cool though?
That's very
So
cool.
that's your post for this week. Here it is. Compare four towns. And one thing I love about West Hartford, it is more affordable than people think. And it's a really nice place to live. So, and you could also do like Manchester, Vernon, Glastonbury, or everybody has. I used to like to do competing football games. Okay, we're going into the high school football games. Who's playing against each other? Avon and Simsbury, that kind of a thing. Okay, so I'm going back for a minute to the presentation. All right, so that was the first one, and then we're going into the second one. So this is the next thing. Let me see. The info stats also, uh, the Naples MLS has a really good how to do what we just did, and I sent it this as an attachment. And it's the same thing. It's across the country. Most of the MLSs provide this. But as you can tell, we only saw December. So it's not up to date. Today is the 26th. We're almost at the end of the month. So I want to know what's happening in January. Excuse me, not December. So this is how I would find that out, and this is how I would talk about it. And I would definitely bring this to a listing presentation, and I would start the presentation off with what I'm about to show you and the other things too. So the other things are kind of fun. Let's look at Hartford County. You could even do Hartford County compared to New Haven County compared to Fairfield, or depending on where you are. You might want to do Tolland, Middlesex, New Haven. It depends on where you are. So people can see the differences in the different counties. So in the MLS, to get the last 30 days, the best thing you can really do is go do a search. Single family only, not condo. And uh, go to change status and put 30 to 0 for the actives and the closed. So these show us the whole market. Once we do that, we get a better feel for what's really happening with the market right now. And we click view results. So when we click view results, we'll see a line here. And when we see this line, so I have how to do it. Search for a single family, specific town, click on the status, like the picture shows, type in 30 to 0 in the boxes here. Now select view results, This is the line because you're not going to see this unless you select it. And that once you click view results, then you will see the line view, the grid print. And then you click this. This is quick CMA. So you're actually doing a CMA for the whole town. That once you do that, you're going to come to this area where it's a quick CMA, and you're going to select quick statistics / charts, and you click on that. And that will bring it so you just see these, not every single house. Because when you first go over, you're going to see every single house that's active, then every single house that's under deposit. This is an overview. So we can see here there are 11 active houses in the last 30 days that are not sold yet in West Hartford. And the average price is $592. One canceled. There are 26 closed properties in the last 30 days. The average list price is $469. The average sale price is $489. That is 4.61% over asking. So the average house in West Hartford is selling for 4.61% more than it's listed for. And the average days on the market is 14.77. In the last 30 days, we had 14 go under contract and 17 go under contract continue to show. So that is 31 properties went under contract in the last 30 days. So 11 came on the market, 26 closed, and 31 went under contract. That's pretty cool. And you're going to see that most of the area, that's what it is. Now, in this format that we looked at, Quick CMA, when you scroll down past those grids that we just showed you, then it has a really nice presentation here with some good graphics telling you the same thing that we just said. And, you know, if I was doing this to share, I may not do expireds, but I just thought it was interesting to see how many houses expired in the last 30 days in West Hartford, and 11. So those are people that put their house on the market and it didn't sell. So that's interesting. And then solds are here. The average list price, 469, sale price, 489. Days on the market is 15. Days on the market cumulative is 18. So that means it could have gone under contract, come back on, or that kind of a thing. List to sale price ratio, 5%. And the original list to sale price ratio, original list price, is less. So that doesn't even make sense to me, 4%. So it just gives you some good info, price per square footage, and whoops.
Jody, so it doesn't matter, you're not just being so specific about the same size houses, you just are generalizing in that town, this
I
is what happened.
love that you just said that.
Mm,
And that is exactly it. We are not being specific. We
okay,
are talking about big picture. So
okay.
whenever I do a CMA, before I get into so this is the order I do it in. Before I get to the house, have them show me around, come back, sit down at the table, put my hands down, look them in the eye. I love your home. I can't believe what you've done to the closets. You know, it just really looks nice. Can I ask you a couple questions? What made you buy this originally? I want to get them back into a buyer's mentality. So I'll ask that question. And then I'll say, listen, before I get into what your house is worth, I just want to show you what's happening in the economy and what's happening in Connecticut market, Hartford County, and what's happening in West Hartford. You know, since you bought your house. So you bought your house in 2011. I actually have some good data here. So let's look at this first. Then I'll show you how I will get you the most money through my marketing plan. And then we'll get into your market evaluation. So I kind of set the table for the routine that I always use. So this is the big picture. It's not about their house. But guess what's happening when I start talking about this? All they can think about is their house. So I will tell you the only time there's a caveat to this. So with most areas, I'm going to do this just like I'm doing it. In some areas, if it's higher end, it's going to be different. Why is it going to be different? Because higher end takes longer to sell. So days on the market is going to be longer. The list to sale price ratio might be higher. They might actually take offers, so it's under list price they get. Because once you get over a certain level, there's less buyers. And your buyers are different. They take longer to make up their mind, and they're not driven by, I'm going to lose it. They don't think like that. So it depends on who your client is. Does that make sense, you guys?
Yes.
Okay. So if I was doing high end, I would talk probably uh, price ranges. Price ranges in Fairfield County, price ranges. So there's another way you can do this. You could do it a few towns and then you can narrow the price range and maybe compare it to the whole town so they can see for themselves. But you're not getting into the actual what you think their house is worth yet.
Can I ask Gail a question? Gail, so this is somebody that wants to sell their house and it's a higher price point range. Are they downsizing? Do they know where they want to go? Because I ran into this last year where they wanted to get rid of their big house in Woodbridge. They wanted to go to the shore, but I find a lot of people that want to do this, they're not, I think it seems like we got to deal with both sides of the transaction, to get them where they have to go. And I mean, how do we make that approach without being too pushy that I want all your business, which I would, right? But I want to be sure that they're comfortable with that decision they're making about selling, because I had one that almost went to contract and they're like, nah, we're okay. We don't know where we want to go. I mean, and because a lot of our customers are still in that boomer range, right? If I'm not mistaken. So how do we approach that? Is that a whole separate discussion?
I think
But
I would ask ChatGPT, honestly.
yeah, okay.
That is a
Mm.
fantastic, and it's true. I mean, it's not easy when you get into some of these, and a lot of it is timing,
True.
and they may say, well, we don't want to, and then a week later they do it.
Right, right.
So,
Or the woman or the wife that didn't trust her husband. I had one of those. And then I found,
yes.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay. I'm just
Thank
getting through all of this, so you can ignore all the Florida stuff. So the bottom line is, like we were just saying, one size does not fit all. So average days on the market depends on the price range, neighborhood, street sometimes. So the idea of doing this data is to start off your CMA and gain control by talking big picture. But then you're going to tell them what their house is worth. And, honestly, most people just want to move. And it's not that big of a deal. When you start talking big picture and high level, you have their attention because in their mind they're comparing their house to yours. But you want to talk about your marketing plan first before you tell them what you think the price is. Because the marketing plan is how we're going to get them the most money. We want to come up with a strategy. And you'll see that on the third week when we do the listing presentation. So, doing the research, then ask a lot of good questions and even ask ChatGPT what are good questions to ask this seller to drive their momentum forward with a good decision. Okay, so um, don't forget, we are going to make 5 calls a day or direct message or post things and connect with people on social media. So that is what we're really doing here. I'm going to do a class on Wednesday at 7. I hope you guys can come. I'm going to do uh, script practice, but at the end, we can go back and go over some of this if you want to. And also, we have coaching. So please sign up for coaching if you want to be part of it. So, it's every other week. If you're new, it's every week. And I'm doing it on Wednesdays and Thursdays from 1 in the afternoon till 6:30. And then on Wednesday at 7, we're doing the script practice. And I can also come back and show you this data too. So this coaching is pretty much just to, quick conversation, help you stay on track and get where you want to go. And then if there's something technology wise that we can talk about, or you don't know who to talk to get something done, we can go over that too.
Okay,
Any questions? Thank you for coming, everybody. I know it was a crazy day.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jody.
Thank you, Jody.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Jody.
you.
Thank you.
Ciao.
Very informative. Thank you.
I'll send you the recording, okay?
Great.
Okay.
So you
Thanks.
can
Thank
follow
you.
along. All right. Take care.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much.